show. Celebrities, pop culture, and comedy.
All right, it's Michael, yo. All right, here's the deal. Go to my podcast, subscribe, give it 5 stars, do all that great stuff. I appreciate all the love. In the studio right now, John Park. You know him as Dumbfounded. Okay, so I want to talk about this. You're known, to me, I know you as a rapper. You know,
Right.
a lot of people, like a battle rapper.
Right.
But now, this is the first time I'm knowing you as, he's John Park, the actor. After the whole Aquafina thing came out, now are you pressing that name more now, John Park?
Well, it's not. It's tough because I there's like something I'm developing right now. It's about myself and getting older as a rapper. Which already is like funny, right? Like a rapper is this kind of immortalized character where there's like it's almost ageless. You know what I'm saying? And like I got the nickname when I was like 14, 15 years old. I'm 33 now.
How'd you get the nickname?
I don't even remember. That's how long ago it was. I really don't remember. I think like somebody just gave it to me because I was like a space cadet, just dazing off and stuff, or just had this like dumbfounded look or whatever. But really, I just got it so young, and I just thought about that like this past year. Like I've been dumbfounded longer than like John Park. Like more people have called me dumbfounded than John Park. So it's like a weird place to be when you get older.
Yeah.
Like
you don't want to be in a restaurant and somebody say, "Hey, dumb," and then you're like, "I'm 30."
Yeah, and then people around you are like, "What? That's your name?" You know what I mean? Like people who don't know who you are, they're like, "What the fuck is a dumb?"
Yeah, exactly. So, what's your name? But now, John Park, you're gonna use that in the shows you do, television shows you do in the future.
I think like John Dumbfounded Park or something. Yeah. I don't know. John Park is cool though. I think because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do the H. I'm gonna do the JON. It's actually short for Jonathan. That's my full name, but. I don't know. It's tough. It's like a ludicrous situation or something.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean?
He's always going to be ludicrous.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock had the whole change to Dwayne Johnson fully. Really, he's not really The Rock anymore at all.
See, I still call him Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think everybody will know him as The Rock, but Dwayne Johnson, at least you know his other name too.
Yeah, he's transitioned. Like, I feel like there's people... I guess people still know him as The Rock, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So how'd you get involved in battle rapping? Was it something you, like, young age? What groups were you into?
Well, I was always into hip-hop. Like, I think growing up in Los Angeles during the time... Like, now all the kids listen to everything. Like, rock, hip-hop, everything.
It was so segregated back then.
Yeah. Back then it was. It was like you got the rockers, like, at school, the bench, the metalheads, the hip-hop heads, and all that. I was a little bit of everything though. Like I like listening to everything, but hip hop drew me in a little bit more. And I remember just kind of at the school just freestyling a lot. Before I even I wasn't making songs or anything like, but you can freestyle anytime. There's like you can make a beat anywhere and just freestyle. And so I was doing that. I was a class clown, so I loved roasting. Homies. Yeah. That was the shit. You know what I mean? Like just clowning on each other. And I was like, damn, I'm good at this. Like I could like, I was a skinny dude, like that's all I really had. Like that was the only way I could defend myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I could make a big dude twice my size feel like shit. Yeah. Like verbally.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? So it was kind of a defense mechanism, and it was just like I was like, damn, I'm funny and I'm good at this. I can clown and I could rap. So I was like, let me mix that in and clown on you in rhyme form. You know what I mean?
So when did you get to that level of success where people really started to know who you were?
Yeah, so like I didn't make songs or like I didn't perform and tour or none of that for a while. Like I was like just freestyling and battling. That's
and this is
all
at
I
school.
did. At school at first, and then all of a sudden, I'm doing it in the local Los Angeles scene. Like I was in the hip hop scene. Like all the LA cats who are rappers and stuff, they know me from like way back than just coming up. And obviously I was like one of the like only Asian dudes, so like that kind of helped me stand out a little bit.
What was the makeup of your school? Like, was it a mixed school?
Actually, I went to 2 different high schools, and one was like pretty like mixed. It was like in Los Feliz, so it was like hipster. There was like hipster kids, but I went to another school towards downtown that was like hood. Like,
hood. I
was like one of like 6 Asian kids, and the rest of the Asian kids were like fobs. You know what I mean? Like they were all like exchange students, and I was like the only. Then that school was like 98% like Latino. Like
okay,
there was only like 30 black kids. It was, you know what I'm saying, like 30 black kids, 6 Asian kids, and like thousands of Latino kids.
So which experience did you like better?
I Honestly, I kind of needed both, to be honest, to kind of make up who I am, really. You know what I mean? Like, I needed to experience, like, the little hipster kids. Because, you know, that Los Feliz, it's, like, by Silver Lake. So all those kids were, like, sons and daughters of, like, directors and, you know what I mean? Like, artist-type adults. You know what I mean? So it kind of gave me a little bit of both, I would say.
And you going through high school, then you created a name in battle rapping. When did, like, here's one thing I don't know, is after Eminem Lose Yourself came out, that's where normal people like me discovered battle rapping. We were like, this is a world. I knew about it, but I didn't really know about it. Like, how far ahead of that movie were you guys? Like,
it was definitely those years before, but it wasn't that much before because it was like kind of I'm not like super old. You know what I mean? But it was that was, I would say, like peak battle rap for sure. You know, when that movie came out, because Eminem, was Eminem
known as a battle rapper back then?
Yeah,
in the real scene
before he debuted, people knew him as a battle rapper.
Okay,
like before his first album, and got signed and everything, we actually knew about him, like super underground. So he was legit, like an underground battle rapper, like, because we knew about all the top dudes in different cities. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't really get into battle rap necessarily in my school. Like, I did that, but when I really got heavy into it was this open mic that I got introduced to in South Central, and this was called Project Blowed. And this is derivative of like a classic open mic from the 90s that was called the Good Life Cafe, and it was like, this is like legendary spot. I'm talking like, you know what's funny is, you know, Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
She was a rapper in this open mic way back in the day.
No.
Yeah. So I knew about Ava DuVernay as a rapper, and her first ever film project is a documentary on this open mic. So I went to that screening. This was like before Selma or any of that, you know.
How was she as a rapper?
She was abstract, like really abstract styling, like, because she was part of this group that was 2 girls and 1 dude. I forget the name. I feel like the name was like Onomatopoeia or something, like some real underground shit. But she made this documentary about that open mic, and I remember going to the screening, and I knew about her as a rapper, and she just kind of, you know, became a filmmaker and made this documentary. So I really enjoyed kind of seeing that open, like, footage of that open mic that was kind of like a generation before me. So it was like looking at like my grandparents or something, you know what I mean? But I'm from this family of this open mic, and I'm like one generation of this open mic. And this open mic is legendary. It spans from literally early 90s to like the early 2000s, you know what I mean? Like a really long time.
And why did it end? It
ended just because it had its run, you know.
Gotcha.
It was every Thursday night in Leimert Park, you know, starts at 10 p.m. So I'm this Korean kid from Koreatown at the age of 15, you know, like literally hop in my friend's car. He introduces me to this place, you know, because at that time I was already like the best like rapper in my school, you know.
So did you have a name then? At your school you had a name?
Yeah, but nothing in the scene. Like,
okay.
I was just a freshman in high school, you know. So like my boy was like, I know about this open mic. Yo, you want to check it out? I was like, cool, I'm down. So at that point, I'm cocky, arrogant, like I'm the best rapper, whatever. He takes me there, and there's like hundreds of kids, like black kids, Latino kids, like barely any Asians, really. Like me and the homie are like the only ones, you know? And there's like mad ciphers. There's like 5, 6 ciphers of like 20 people around this whole park in this building, you know? It's like, this is literally the spot, you know? Stick my head in, I'm ready to rap. And I hear the best rappers, and I'm like, oh shit, like I need to go back to the drawing board.
So did you pull out that first night?
I didn't even rap that first night because I was so nervous. I was like, I was ready. Like I made my way through the crowd, stick my head in the circle, and then I hear the first dude rap. And I remember like the first dude, he's like one of my friends now, but like remember hearing him, and I was like, this is like the best freestyling I've ever heard in my life. Like it was so good. And I was like, oh shit. So I kept like, you know, amping myself up. I'm going next for like hours, you know. At the end it just closes, and I'm just walking back to my car like I should have fucking hopped in.
So how many times did you go back before you jumped in?
I jumped in, I think the 3rd time. The 2nd time I kept trying to just kind of observe and learn like who the dudes are, you know what I mean? Because you know, like you go to the spots and like you know the regulars, you know what I mean? So I started kind of soaking that in, but it was tough. It was the first environment where I kind of experienced like you had to grab the mic. You had to like no one was like, I'm done freestyling, now it's your turn. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was none of that shit.
Yeah.
You had to interrupt somebody to do your thing. And when you interrupt somebody, not everyone's cool with that. So it turns into this thing where both of y'all are rapping at the same time. And then someone starts battling you. And that's why it became like a big spot for battle rap, because it turned into battles all the time because you're talking over each other and no one wants to stop. Like y'all keep going over each other until it turns into a battle.
So it starts, let me get this right. So it starts with you just saying one of your raps, but that other person is saying theirs. And then you're like, oh, screw this. We're going to go at each other.
Yeah. I mean, you can be cool and just stop and let the other dude rap. But, that's
a sign of weakness.
Yeah,
right?
well, there's also times where you might not respect the other dude, and you're like, why the fuck you're interrupting me? I'm going off right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm killing it. So when you hear that person go off, and then you're gonna be like, you start doing this thing like. Yo, you need to calm the fuck down. Like you tell him to calm down while you rap. You know what I mean? Like, shut the fuck up, you suck. Like, you're rap, and that's. I feel like that's a lot of times that's the most natural form of battle rap. Not like signing up, you go on stage, but like when you're ciphering and then turns into a battle.
Okay, so your third time you go up, how'd it go for you?
Not that great, really. Like, I mean, I sucked for a long time. I thought I was tight, and I think this is for any artist. It's like you got to take yourself out of your element and put challenge yourself, in the best of the best crews. Like in comedies like that. You know what I mean? You can kill it locally, but you got to take yourself to the elite spots. You know what I mean? And that was like that for me. This place was like my Hogwarts. My rap school. That was like the nerdiest hip hop. That was my Hogwarts. No. But it was really that spot, and because there was this outside area where it was like the ciphers where people are freestyling and battling, but there was also an inside area where you sign up and you can perform a song that you made. Like you give them the DJ your CD, they play your beat, and you perform a song on the stage.
Gotcha.
And that was really tough too, because if the host was like, "Yo, if you're not feeling the artist, chant." Please pass the mic. Please pass the mic. This was like a thing. So it was like the Apollo or something.
Apollo,
right?
where you get dragged off.
Yeah. So the DJ, when the DJ starts hearing that chant, turns the beat off, and you just have to get off stage. So this was like a huge thing. I remember the first time I did a song on it, I got passed, you know what I mean? And I kept coming back. And I think there's two ways artists.
Wait, you got passed as?
When I did a song, I did a song.
The full song, or did they say?
No, I only made it like 16 seconds or some shit. Yeah. 16 seconds in, it's like, please pass. I start hearing that. DJ turns off the beat. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I get off the stage, and then the host is like, yeah, man, just come back next week or something. That's it. You can't,
It's almost like an open mic for stand-up. Like, you got to just keep trying to sharpen your skills.
It was harsh. And I always say that, that was one of the things that made me who I am and strong as an artist. Because there's two ways artists can take those things. It's like, you can either be like, fuck y'all don't know shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or you could just be like, nah, I'm going to come back next week, and I'm going to kill it. You know what I mean? There's two ways you can take that, and I was like, nah, I want to come back and I want to get the respect.
Who were the big rappers at that time? Like who ruled that?
Well, there's a lot of to me, these are like my heroes that no one knows about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like people have that even in the comedy world, right?
Absolutely.
The dudes that are like your heroes, but not the world really don't know about them. But there were actually a lot of big rappers that did come out of this open mic. Like Skilo was one of them, he got a deal while going to this open mic way back in this is before my time.
Yeah. Freestyle
Fellowship was a group that came out of there, and they were an early group from the 90s. Farside knew about this. This was I mean, a lot of the West Coast connection, all these West Coast gangster dudes know about this place too. You know what I mean? It was one of those real rap, West Coast rap staples. You know what I mean? And I come from a generation of this, so I'm lucky. I caught some of these OGs too, and you gotta. By the time I was going there, these fools were old already.
Yeah.
But they were it was crazy seeing dudes who were in their 30s, killing it in the freestyle. I knew a dude who's I one of my OG, Micah 9. He's from this West Coast history, and he's in his 40s. You still see him at a function, and he's freestyling his ass off, and he's sick, so sick,
Now, when you freestyle, how much is really freestyle, and how much is already in your head, and you just put new words into it?
I mean, I come from a school where, like, you know, we're straight freestyle. Like our open mic, this open mic that I come from, we're known for freestyling in particular. Like
straight up
the top,
freestyle.
the best freestylers in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like it became like, and I that's what I became addicted to in particular. Like I'm a rapper, I make songs and shit, but really my passion is like freestyling. You know, like I started so young, and I started hearing some of the best freestylers that like now, like I'm driving down the street, I see words on a billboard and I turn it into like a rhyme game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I see like Dolly Parton, I'd be like Olive Garden.
Yeah.
You know? Macaulay Culkin, you know, like multi-syllabic rhymes. Like it's like a crazy habit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's weird. It's a
So what's your process when another rapper comes at you, like in a battle rap? You're listening to what they say and you're trying to pick words that you can use. Like, what's the process?
Well, here's
of
the
it?
thing. So let me explain. Like freestyling is like that's its own thing. So battle rap has become more written now. You know what I'm saying? Like the battle stuff where there's no beat and you see it online. That's like now that's more of a boxing match where we do prepare for each other.
So
you
know who you're gonna battle before you get there.
And that changed. Back in the day, we would just like sign up on a piece of paper and they call two names up and we didn't know who we were battling, and that's freestyle for sure.
Yeah.
But what happened at some point was like they took out the beat and they were like, we're gonna do this a cappella, and it became more written for each other. And the reason for that is back in the day, it was fun, it was exciting. You see two guys and you're making fun of each other's shoes. You rewatch those battles and you're like, this was not as tight as I remember.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it was freestyle, so you kind of had to be there.
Yeah.
So, but this written style, it's like you kind of don't even need to be a hip hop fan to enjoy this. You know what I mean? Because there's no beat. It's not really just hip hop anymore. It's like stand up. It's spoken word.
It's a roast. Basically,
it's theater. It's a lot of shit. So I think that's the reason that it went that way, because it became more entertaining. And when you prepare for somebody, there's better content in there. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is that where you met Aquafina as well? Because she was a rapper. Or
she was a
maybe still
rapper,
is.
but really not. I met her because she put out a music video. This was her first ever music video and song, actually. And I just found it. Like, it only had at the time like less than 500 views. It eventually went viral, but less than 500 views. And at the time, I love finding like new Asian shit that is tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. Like I'm passionate about Asian artists, but I like finding dope Asian artists. You know what I'm saying? So I came across her. I think another friend, like we have this like group chat of like 6 Asian creatives where we just share mad like Asian shit coming out every day, you know? So this was like mad years ago. I'm probably like 7 years or something like that, 7 years ago or more. I was like, who's this girl? She was like the first Asian girl that I saw that was like being self-deprecating while she raps, you know? Every other Asian girl was like trying to be super sexual or like flexing. You know, this girl, the song was called My Vag. And she was like funny as fuck. She sounded good, and it was like the video had this like hipster aesthetic, you know, and I was like, this is kind of special, you know what I mean? So I reached out to her. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be in New York like in like 2 weeks. We should link up. So I just met up with her and we became like really good friends. That was it. Yeah.
And to see her just blow up, how's that feel, man?
It's like stupid. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people, I mean, you know this, is like when you're in the game, like you see so many of your homies like blow up.
Yes.
You know, any young person out there, like when you reach 30, you will know a lot of famous people.
At least if you're in this industry.
For sure. Yeah. And I feel like with her, you know, but her trajectory definitely is far crazier than most. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But it's amazing, you know, and like we're still really good friends.
She hasn't changed. Huh?
That's the best part. She's so fucking funny. Like she was. I think the reason her trajectory has been so crazy is she is genuinely like hilarious. Like you chill with her and it's special. Like you can tell she's like, there's something different about her, you know?
And like when we did our first Sticky Rice comedy show at Pasadena, she showed up.
Yeah.
She showed up. That's what I love is like.
She missed my shit though.
Yeah,
she was like, I want to go check your set out. She totally missed it. Like
she totally missed it. Totally missed it. But it's cool to see like now. And I'm sure it happened before, but after Crazy Rich Asians, there's this new resurgence, or not even a resurgence, there's this new happening that's happening where like Asians are getting casted in different places and breaking a bunch of barriers. Like you said, SNL, you know, like the first Asian American ever on the show.
Right.
Now, Shane Gillis was a big deal.
Right.
You know, that came out. What was your thoughts when you first heard about it? And to combat, he's a comedian as well.
Yeah. Like, it's tough because there's so many angry Asians. Like, I'm on Twitter, and Asian Twitter is like going off.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But like, I'm not as like angry as them because I have thick skin about this stuff. And like, even for instance, like, yeah, I've been called chink and stuff in the past.
You're a battle rapper too. So
I was, and I always kind of handled it with rebuttaling with jokes. And I do think that there's an element of that. Like, everybody has a right to be angry about that for sure, because it wasn't funny. That podcast wasn't funny. Like, that shit was not funny.
No, not at all.
And it was almost corny because it's like, like, you hate Chinese food? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was a thing where they were trying to be funny, and they kept going, and it wasn't
But here's
going
the thing
anywhere.
about being funny. Like, a lot of comedians use this excuse of like, I know funny, right? But the truth is, a lot of these people who are getting older kind of don't know what funny is, because knowing what funny is knowing where culture shifts. You know what I'm saying? Knowing where culture is going. Like, I know this because when I battled black people, Latinos, Asians, I had to it's not about like having the best rhymes really when you battle and you want people to be on your side. It's about like really relating to people culturally. You know what I'm saying? Like, something will sound racist if you don't know much about that culture. But the way Russell Peters is a good example of, like, you can tell this motherfucker hung out with Vietnamese, Filipino, Chinese. Like, he knows
you can drop Russell Peters anywhere in the world, and he can tell you exactly about those
because
people.
the way he jokes about the shit is not just an accent. It's like he talks about the food, the family, like all these dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Battling is the same thing. Comedy is the same way. Like, no one's gonna you're gonna sound hackish and corny if you don't know about the culture.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I felt about that shit. Like, but on the other end too, the way like a lot of Asians are reacting on Twitter and being angry and like the cancel culture about, one thing I don't like about that is like, there's gonna have to be a point where if you want to call this dude out for not being funny, like, you got to be funny. Like, you gotta roast the motherfucker. Like, I just see angry comedians and writers, Asian writers and comedians just being angry.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a writer, you're a comedian, be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, roast the dude. Like,
exactly.
I want to see that. Like, I kind of want to see that. So I am kind of tired of that element of it. You know what I mean? But
do you think the cancel culture has gone too far? Are we at that point now where it's that breaking point?
Well, no, I mean, it's like, I think you're going to have, it's like everyone's just going to have to, deal with the consequences of what happens to you. You know what I'm saying?
And you can't use a label as, oh, I'm just saying it for comedy.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Like, it goes back to the shit that we were talking about like understanding culture. You know, like, there's a lot of heroes of mine that are, super like, all their comedy now is just like being like, fuck cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the worst part about what cancel culture has done, is like everyone's comedy is about that.
Yes.
I don't like that. Like, what happened to just having bits about shit, regular shit, like, now it's just about fuck this culture, fuck that. Like,
but like you said, it is about, like, you got to know what society is at right now, and that's where it is.
Yeah, that's true. It that's a big part of it. It's weird because I am seeing a lot of comedian heroes of mine who are turning into like the older, like, bitter dude, and you can see it. I mean, you can see it. Like, yes, like blaming things on millennials and shit like that. It's so corny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I got you.
It makes you sound washed. You know what I mean? And I've always been like, I'm a hip hop dude, like a rap dude in my 30s. Like, that's pretty old for like a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
But here's what's interesting. When I was growing up, like, the rappers I looked up to were like only like 5-6 years older than me. Now they're like Jay-Z and all these dudes, they're 45, 50. It seems like, I don't know if it's because of talent. I don't know if, like, rap, since it first came out, these guys are legendary and they kept their status. But I never thought I'd be listening to a 50-year-old rapper.
Well, there's only a few. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's like the only dude, really.
But nobody listens. I mean, Kanye is in like his late 30s, 40s.
Here's the thing, like, no one wants to listen to like an old dude you don't really respect. That's why people listen to Jay-Z, because he's rich. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
true.
you're not gonna listen to an old dude who hasn't,
No, it's true. Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like, and it is crazy.
Do you feel that you're almost out of place at 30?
Yeah, for sure. Because I hear about 15, 16-year-old kids with like, dudes, they're just kids, but like, they put out a song, goes viral, they get signed off of it. You know what I mean? Like, labels jump onto like a viral hit now. You know what I mean? When they hear a viral thing, they're like, I'm gonna sign that, because they're not looking at those artists as like legacy artists for a
No,
long time.
no, it's just let's make as much money we can on
Exactly.
the song.
That's all it is. And I get that. I'm like 33 and I feel old in hip hop. That's like wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's almost funny though. Like I work it into a lot of my bits and stuff, and even the show I'm developing is kind of about that, about like this aging rapper. And it's just funny because we don't think about that a lot. We don't think about adult rapper. You know,
Yeah.
There's like, you know, the Jay-Z's, but that's a rare thing. We don't think about the working class rapper, because when we think about rap, we think about yachts, money,
just the
making
big
it
ones.
rain. You know, we don't think about I'm gonna be financially stable. You know,
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
trying to pay the rent. You know, like
$18,000 a year rapper.
that's
you
what
know,
I'm saying. We don't think about
the
that.
minimum wage
and I think
rapper.
that's funny because it's like that. I never thought I was gonna be like, one day I'm gonna be financially stable. Like, you know, I was like, nah, I'm gonna be on a yacht popping champagne. Like, you know what I mean?
So how is the rap game going for you? Are you dropping new music? Are you?
Yeah.
Do you respect the young rappers?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I listen to a lot of young shit, to be honest.
Okay.
Like I'm more than a lot of older cats. Like older cats can hate on shit. I know you don't like everything too, because I've heard your bits about that.
Yeah, I don't like the mumble rap. I like the beats. Like there's different things you can respect about like
Right.
I just feel like the lyrics aren't today.
You
music
respect
goes-
it. You don't like it. It's not your preference.
Yeah, I
for
respect
sure.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
I get them making a lot. I understand because I'm from music, so I understand. I'm from the music industry. I understand why it works. But I just felt like, and I don't want to sound old, but I just felt like lyrically, besides a couple rappers today, lyrically, it was about lyrics.
Right.
In the past, now it's about beats, and we kind of just talk over it.
Well, an argument for that, because I've talked about this, more than I want to,
Yeah.
with people. But like, argument for that is that, yes, there is stuff that it's like redundant constantly, but there's also obviously good rap and not necessarily good, but stuff with content. You know what I mean? But there's also old rappers back in the day that was
that's
talking
terrible.
nonsense too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
there was a lot of hibbity jibbity stuff.
Oh, there was a what
Like,
was it?
was like
Dr.
food-
Dre. Well, I'm creeping because I'm creeping because I'm creeping.
Right. I'm even talking about like Fushnikins or something like
Yeah,
with
DOS
sound.
effects.
I'm
Bum
not saying
skibbity
that-
bum skibbity bum hop.
To me, it wasn't whack, but it wasn't like there's not meat in there. There's no content.
But
in
I would
there.
say more rappers back then were it was about the lyrics. So like you had Tribe, you had I can name a whole boatload of people that were about lyrics back then. Today, the ones that are known for lyrics that are popular. Let's talk about mainstream popular. It's like basically J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and like maybe one or two other. Where before it was about like Tribe, NWA was making Public Enemy. Like it was just you can go on and on and on.
I think a lot of it actually has to do with attention span too, because people just want to hear melodies, because lyrics require you to like tune in. You know what I mean? Like you have to tune in. You can't have ADD and like try to like listen to lyrics. You know what I mean? So the melody stuff, you can just kind of have it playing and you can still enjoy it.
And I also think it's just, the music industry is so different where it's about streaming now. It's about one song. And now like literally Kanye West's last album was 22 minutes, something like it was like 5 songs. Yeah. So that's an album today. Right. Where before I remember like Chronic, 24 songs, 2 hours, it was a whole story and like, wow.
Most rap songs are 2 minutes now. I know.
Really?
Yeah, I know this because like even I'm conscious of that when I make songs now. Like
2 minutes.
I used to write 3 verses for songs all the time. Like I don't remember the last time I wrote 3 verses.
So it's 2 verses in. Now do you?
And they're not even 16s anymore. They're like 12s. You know what I mean?
So do you start with a hook now just to get them, or does it still start with a?
I mean, I still writing a good hook is always the hardest part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jay-Z, said like. It's about not like he used to be a hibbity jibbity rapper. He used to go by Jazzo. Forgot his fucking old name, Jazzo or something. And then he used to be like that old school kind of like hibbity dibbity rap.
Hibbity dibbity.
Yeah. And then he said in an interview like that it's not like he learned that it's about saying more with less. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that too. Like now when I used to cram in mad syllables and shit, but now it's like I want to have that space and like let things breathe and shit.
How did you build your audience mainly? Was it battle rapping? Was it podcasting? Like where's your main audience coming from now?
It's a little bit of everything. I like to do a lot of shit. Like I would say, even early on, like when I got into battle rapping and I was making videos and doing little funny YouTube things and shit. But I would always say like I owe a lot to battle rap because it is the one kind of arena that set me apart from a lot of things, like from other rappers, because there weren't many Asians particular doing it. And people always ask me like, was it hard to be an Asian in this like all black art form, all this shit? Actually, like to me, I thought it helped me because it helped me stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in a lot of these things, it's all about being different, you know? And I always thought hip hop was about being unique and different. So to me, I always loved being the only Asian motherfucker in a cypher, and some dude underestimating me and going at me. Like soon as he's like started clowning on me, in my head, I was like, I'm about to kill you. Like I'm about to destroy you. Like I love that.
Like when you were in you went the third time you performed. How long did you have to perform before you became a name and people started to know who you were?
Long time. Like
2-3 years.
This isn't like fast. Like before I even put out my own content, like my own video on my YouTube channel, I had hundreds of videos online of people with a camcorder or something in a parking lot just filming me and uploading it. I thought I was a shit. I was like, I got hundreds of videos online and they have millions of views. And then I met like a dude who eventually became my manager, and he was like, you know, not making a single dime off this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good point. Like I didn't even think about that. I was feeling myself. I was like, I had all these millions of views and shit. He was like, yo, you got to start making your own shit. You got to make songs. You got to make music videos and all that.
But as far as like the underground open mics you were going to, that Good Cafe or Good Luck Cafe, when did you create a name where people were like, when you walked in, people were like, oh, he can rap. He might jump in on this. When did
like
people
over there or just fans in general?
No, over there.
Oh, over there.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a place called Project Blowed. Good Life is like the original version of it. But over there, it took a while too. It did because there was a couple
years.
It probably like like I would say 2 years or so.
Okay.
You know, I mean, they knew I was a regular. I'd go every week, so I was part of like, you know, a dude who was a regular, but I wasn't accepted yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I wasn't accepted. And there was all these crews, like people were making a crew, and like finally I went enough weeks that like I knew all the top dudes, and I was part of the top dudes, and we were like, we should make a crew together. So we made a crew. Like we picked the best 8 dudes, and we're like, we're crew now. We went by Swim Team. That was our name of the crew. And it was and actually one of the guys in the crew has a show on Comedy Central called New Negroes, actually. Open Mike Eagle. He's the rapper guy in with Baron, but he was actually part of the crew. So
wow, okay.
Yeah, he's from Chicago, but we were literally just like one week we were like, yo, we should make a crew. Let's just put all the dopest dudes in it. So we picked like 8 people, and I was part of that crew. And we were a crew for a long time, performing all over Los Angeles and all that. We'd had crew battles sometimes. We had 8 of us battle like another crew, an OG crew who didn't really like us. You know?
Oh, okay.
Like OGs there were like mean.
They were hating.
They were not supportive. Like OGs were.
They were not supportive.
No. OGs were mean because you're talking about these dudes who were like still doing it. You know, they're not like passing
they're not making
on
money.
They weren't passing on the torch. They were like, we still trying to light the shit. Like,
yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was a very rough environment, but it was the best I could have ever wished for to make me who I am. Like,
now, our first Sticky Rice show, you did stand up. Are you transitioning into stand? Do you want to do more of that?
I definitely want to do more stand up. But I respect it. You know, that's why I don't really promote much of it like on my things. Like I promote that. You know, that was a great opportunity. But that was probably the first time I actually like promoted it on my socials. Like I don't like to do that because I feel like I don't deserve like my Dumbfounded fans coming to that yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to just kind of do it and get genuine response. You know what I mean? Because if you get your fans there, they might just be like,
yeah, you're the best.
Yeah. So I don't want that. I really do respect that. And I think that comes from the way I came up in this open mic. You know what I mean? I have that respect. And I know, I've been a stand-up fan for a long time. So I know a lot of stand-up comedians, and I've been to these shows, and I know how shit works. You know?
Okay, so Aquafina, you just finished taping a show with her on Comedy Central, right? What's the name of it?
It's Nora from Queens.
Nora from Queens.
Yeah,
how was
Nora's
that?
her real name. Yeah.
How was the show? I mean, like, were you in a couple episodes? How was it?
Yeah,
fun?
I was sprinkled in it. Like I'm one of her friends who just says like funny shit, you know, once in a while. But I will say it's special because, you know, I was just watching her do her thing, not like me or what. I was just watching her. She's like, you know, every episode she's doing so much shit, you know. And I was watching it and I was like, this is special. I've never seen an Asian girl do like over the top comedy, like different wigs and, you know, acting crazy, not willing to be silly as fuck, like on some Lucille Ball, Gilda Radner, like, you know, that kind of shit. You know, because you have Asian comedians and stuff, like, you know, Margaret Cho, OG, Ali Wong doing her thing, but they're not like over the top doing crazy physical comedy. Her during the show is like, you see that. And I was like kind of getting chills. I was like, this is some new shit. You know, I felt like that. Yeah, it was dope.
That's awesome. So what else are you getting into? What you got your podcast? What's the name of that?
Podcast Fun with Dumb every week. A lot of it has become like a focus on like Asians doing different things, like a lot of Asian Americans that I look up to. But it's everything. It's just turned into that because like I have a lot of a network of that.
Yeah.
But, it's just some fun shit. We just have casual chats and shit. But I'm working on a TV show that I'm pitching around right now.
All right.
And that's a lot of the stuff we're talking about. I'll be playing myself and stuff.
Okay. How can people find you?
They can find me on all the socials. Dumbfounded. I fucking.
So you're not gonna change this to John Park?
John Park will be there. You know, it's funny. I went through a phase like a couple of years back where I was actually trying to change my rap name, and like my fans was like not happy.
No, they didn't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I tried to change it to like something more like grown. Like it was just like off of my last name Park. I tried to just go by Parker. And they were like, "You're not Parker. You're not Parker.
Yeah, you're not a Parker.
You're Dumbfounded." Yeah. So I literally tried to do this, brand everything, change everything, new merch as Parker.
They were like, "Nah."
I did a whole tour as that and everything, and it just could not change. Like I couldn't change it.
You know what? I tried to, and I love your shirts. I tried to order one. But
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
No. I'm gonna order one. I don't take anything for free. I'm gonna order one to support. But I love them. But when I was trying to do it, I was on a plane, so I guess it didn't. The PayPal didn't work on a plane. But I am gonna get a shirt. They're dope, man. I love the logo. Who made that? Who made your art?
You talking about the face one?
The face one.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a mural in Koreatown that exists. On the side of a liquor store, there's a mural of me.
You're famous in Koreatown.
That was because actually I had one of my artist homies like paint that because I had a song called Murals, and he painted that for the music video. But the liquor store loved it so much they kept it, and it's still up there.
That's dope.
It's been up there for 3 years. It's crazy.
So when I go to Koreatown, the one restaurant I got to go to.
You know, Korean barbecue is like you can't go wrong with Parks Barbecue.
Parks?
Yeah, Parks is like
you don't own it, do you?
No.
Okay.
But it's funny though. They got a wall of celebrity pictures, and they didn't have me up for the longest, and I was like mad as fuck. I was like, there's nobody who reps K-Town harder than any motherfucker here. You got like Seth Rogen on here. They even had D-list celebrities on that motherfucker.
Really?
I was like, y'all better throw me up on this shit. Like, and then
are you up there?
I finally made that shit, but I was mad at it and boycotting that shit for years. I was bitter as fuck, you know what I'm saying?
All right, man. Well, Dumb, thank you so much for stopping by, bro.
Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure you subscribe. Give it 5 stars. It's the Michael Yo Show.